She left without a word years ago. You rebuilt your life. And now she's back, not to say sorry, but to ask you to destroy her marriage. That's the story we are breaking down today. A story about silence, love, and the kind of request that can ruin everyone involved. Here's what you're going to learn in this video. First, why someone would leave a good thing without explanation. Second, what really happens when an old flame comes back asking for help. And third, the hard truth about whether you should ever say yes to something like this. By the end, you'll understand exactly why these situations almost never end well, and what to do if you ever find yourself in one. Let's rewind to the beginning. Picture this. You meet someone. The connection is electric. You finish each other's sentences. You stay up until 3 a.m. just talking about nothing. Everyone around you can see it. Your friends joke about your wedding colors. Your parents ask when you're bringing her home again. But here's the thing. Neither of you says the words. Neither of you makes the move. You just exist in this weird, beautiful, painful silence. You love her. You're pretty sure she loves you too. But for some reason, fear, timing, pride, neither of you speaks up. And then one day, she's gone. Not with a fight. Not with a goodbye. Just gone. You hear through mutual friends that she met someone else. 6 months later, she's engaged. A year after that, she's married. And you're left standing. They're wondering what would have happened if you had just opened your mouth. That silence, it stays with you. It shows up at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep. It sits next to you during bad dates. It whispers, "What if?" You move on, or at least you pretend to. You get a promotion. You travel. You date other people. But deep down, a tiny part of you still checks her social media. Still wonders if she ever thinks about you. Now fast forward 5 years. You're minding your own business. Maybe you're at work. Maybe you're at home watching something stupid on YouTube. And then your phone lights up with a name you haven't seen in half a decade. Her name. Your heart does something weird. You stare at the screen for a full 10 seconds before you open it. And the message says, "I need to see you. It's important." That's where the real problem starts. Because you have a choice to make. Do you respond? Do you meet her? Do you pretend you never saw it? Most people say they'd ignore it. Most people are liars. Curiosity gets the best of almost everyone. So you meet her. Coffee shop. Neutral ground. She walks in and she looks different. Older. Tired in a way that has nothing to do with sleep. She sits down. She fidgets with her ring. And then she says the words that change everything. "I'm not happy. I haven't been happy for years. And I need your help to end my marriage." Let that sink in for a second. The person you loved in silence, one who left without an explanation, is now asking you to help her leave someone else. On the surface, this might sound like a fantasy. The one who got away comes back. She finally sees that you were the right choice all along. She wants you to rescue her. But here's what they don't show you in the movies. This is not a love story. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Here's why. When someone asks you to help end their marriage, you're not stepping into a romance. You're stepping into a legal battlefield. Depending on where you live, getting involved in someone's divorce can have real consequences. If you start dating her before the divorce is final, you could be named in court documents. Her husband could use your relationship against her in custody battles or financial settlements. In some places, it can even affect how much money she gets. This isn't drama. This is law. But let's put the legal stuff aside for a minute. Let's talk about the emotional reality. When someone is stuck in a bad marriage, they are not thinking clearly. They are desperate. They are lonely. They are looking for any way out. And you represent an escape. You represent the life she could have had. But here's the hard truth. You also represent a distraction. She might not actually want you. She might just want out. And you happen to be the closest open door. Psychologists call this relationship jumping. It's when someone leaves one relationship and immediately latches onto another person without taking any time to heal. Studies show that people who do this are almost 50%. more likely to end up in another unhappy relationship within 2 years. Why? Because they never fix what was broken inside them in the first place. They just swap out the cast of characters and hope the story changes. So here you are. The person you loved is crying across the table. She's telling you that her husband doesn't understand her, that he works too much, that he changed after the wedding, that she thinks about you all the time. And every word pulls at something deep in your chest. Part of you wants to believe her. Part of you wants to be the hero. Part of you thinks, finally, after all these years. But you have to ask yourself the ugly question. Why now? Why didn't she call you 6 months ago? Why didn't she reach out before the wedding? Why didn't she say something? Back when you were both standing in that kitchen at 2 a.m. Neither of you brave enough to speak? The answer is uncomfortable. She didn't choose you then because you weren't what she wanted. She's choosing you now because she's running from something. And there's a massive difference between being someone's first choice and being someone's emergency exit. Let me tell you about a study from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships. Researchers followed people who reconnected with old flames after years apart, the ones who got back together within 6 months of a breakup or divorce had an 80% failure rate within 2 years. But here's the kicker. The ones who waited, who took at least a year to be alone, to heal, to figure out what they actually wanted, those relationships had a success rate of over 60%. The difference wasn't love. The difference was timing and emotional readiness. So if you really love this person, and I mean truly love her, the best thing you can do is nothing. At least for now. You can support her. You can listen to her. You can even help her find a lawyer if she needs one. But you cannot be the reason she leaves. Because if you are, she will always wonder if she made the right choice, or if she just traded one set of problems for another. And that doubt, it will eat away at whatever you build together. I know that's not what you want to hear. I know you want the version where you ride in on a white horse and save the day. But real life doesn't work like that. Real love isn't about rescuing someone from their bad decisions. Real love is about two whole people choosing each other when they're both free, both healed, and both ready. Think about what you're actually being asked to do here. She wants you to help end a marriage, not a situationship, not a casual dating thing, a legal, financial, emotional contract that involves another human being, a human being who might be a terrible husband, or might just be a regular guy who fell in love with someone who never really loved him back. We don't know, and neither do you, because you've only heard her side of the story. Here's something most people never consider. When someone tells you their marriage is horrible, you're getting a highlight reel of the bad stuff. You're not hearing about the time her husband stayed up all night when she was sick. You're not hearing about the mortgage they pay together or the dog they both love. You're hearing the version of the story that makes it okay for her to leave. And that version might be true, but it also might be only half the truth. There's a reason therapists exist. There's a reason divorce mediators exist. It's because marriage is complicated. And no outsider, especially not an old flame with a history of silence and regret, has the full picture. If you jump into this, you're not just helping her. You're becoming part of the problem. You're giving her an excuse to avoid the hard work of ending things the right way. So what should you actually do if you find yourself in this situation? Let me give you a simple 3-step plan. Step 1. Do not get physically or romantically involved until the divorce is final. Not a kiss. Not a secret weekend away. Nothing. If she really wants to be with you, she will wait. If she can't wait, she doesn't want you, she just wants out. Step 2. Encourage her to get a lawyer and a therapist. A lawyer handles the legal mess. A therapist handles the emotional mess. You are neither of those things. The best help you can give is pointing her toward professionals who do this every day. Step 3. Take care of yourself. This situation will mess with your head. You will feel hope and fear and jealousy and guilt all at once. Talk to someone you trust. Write in a journal. Go to the gym. Do not sit by the phone waiting for her next dramatic text. You had a life before she came back. Do not burn it down for someone who might leave again. Here's the bottom line. The one you lost to silence came back, but she came back with a bomb in her hands, and she's asking you to help her set it off. You can say yes. You can dive headfirst into the explosion, but don't be surprised when you get burned. Or you can do the harder thing. You can say, I care about you, but I can't be the reason your marriage ends. Come find me when you're single and healed. And if I'm still available then, we'll talk. That might cost you her. She might get angry. She might call you a coward. She might go find someone else who will say yes. And if she does, then you have your answer. She wasn't looking for love. She was looking for a wrecking ball. Silence broke you both once. Don't let it break you again. If this story hit close to home, watch this next video about the 5 signs someone is using you as an emotional escape plan. It might save you a lot of pain.